If it's green or blue, if she's texting you, do you really care what color it is?
Yes, I do
really
care.
I
do care. If her text bubbles are green, there's a good likelihood that that's not even actually her in the pictures. Like,
she belongs to the streets.
Exactly. And Mitchie don't like no street walkers. I'm not about that. I'm not about that.
And with that, welcome to the Moore Park Reporter Sportcast. Today was a busy day. We had some football earlier, and I'm sure we're going to get into that in a little bit with your divisional round picks. But distract me from the fact that Mitch will never give me his number because I do not have an iPhone. And tell me what your divisional pick is going to be for the Chiefs or the Browns. All right? I don't know who you think has it.
Chiefs, Browns coming off a miraculous win. I mean, that was just a crazy game. But unfortunately, the Browns did not win that game. The Steelers lost that game. So I got to go Chiefs. I don't think it'll be a blowout because, the Chiefs, they haven't been dominating as of late, but Andy Reid is 23-5 off a bye. You got to think that Honey Badger is going to stop Juice Landry, that the Steelers were just unable to stop him. I got the Chiefs here. I think the Browns will keep it close because they can run the ball, but I got to go Chiefs here. I'm sorry, Believe Land. I believed in you last week, but not this week.
I actually couldn't say it better than Danny did. I think he nailed it right on the head. The Browns really didn't win last week. The Steelers shot themselves in the foot. Chiefs are always going to be hard to beat because all that firepower on both sides of the ball. And the Chiefs are just an overall better team, so it should be pretty obvious. I got Chiefs going 30-17.
Yeah, we're probably all going to pick the Chiefs, and rightfully so. The road to the Super Bowl goes through Kansas City. The Chiefs are just fantastic this year, and I think the Browns, if you're the Browns and you're a Browns fan or you're just anywhere in Cleveland, you should feel good about this season. You should feel good about the playoff win, kind of ending the drought, and then kind of rebuild for next season because no one's really taking out the Chiefs unless maybe you're the Buffalo Bills.
All right, yeah. I mean, before I get into it, I was super high on Pittsburgh the whole season through that starting 11-0, and man, did they crap the bed. They had complete diarrhea in the bed today. Cleveland should not have won the game despite me picking them. I'm glad that they made it through to the next round. Baker's really proved something that maybe he is the quarterback to bring Cleveland a chip, but they're going to fall short against the Chiefs. I got them losing by a touchdown, 31-24. I just don't think anyone's going to beat the Chiefs in the AFC.
I just don't get why everyone here is thinking it's going to be a close game. The Chiefs are going to destroy the Cleveland Browns. They do not have a defense.
All right, well played. I mean, you're right. I did see that game earlier, and I was really shocked by the Steelers, down, 28-0 in the second quarter. Like, that's not a good look.
Hey, where do you guys think the Steelers go from here? Do you think Big Ben's done?
Yeah, get rid of Big Ben.
I gotta say, and I think Big Ben is done, and it's an exciting time if you're in the AFC because one of the big, guys that's been there for the longest time, he's going to be going away. There's no more Tom Brady in the AFC. It's an exciting time for young quarterbacks for sure.
Ooh, and then Deshaun Watson going to Miami.
For now, I bet he'll still be in the AFC, so it still counts.
Oh, you're right.
If he goes to Miami, it'll blow my mind. It'll be crazy.
I mean, that's a topic for another time.
That is a topic for another time because right now you guys are going to tell me your pick for the upcoming Bills-Ravens game.
Bills-Ravens, yes. I think this one's going to be also a one-score game. Like I predicted, Lamar got the monkey off his shoulder, and they went through, and he won a playoff game. I really like the Bills, but that game against Tennessee was pretty close for the most part. It really came down to the end, and it wasn't as close as I would have wanted it to be. I wanted them to win by more. I got Bills winning 28-21.
Again, I don't have this as a close game at all. I think the Bills are going to dominate the Ravens in every aspect. This is Josh Allen's year, the one that Lamar Jackson had 2 years ago. I think they are the best team in the AFC if the Kansas City Chiefs didn't exist. They're having just like there's nowhere to go for but up for the Bills. Bills crush the Ravens.
I think both two dynamic quarterbacks that are going to be really hard to stop. The Bills have been playing really lights out, but the Ravens held Derrick Henry to 40-some yards this past weekend, which is crazy. And it's going to be the number 2 rated offense against the number 7 rated defense. So it's going to be a really good game. I think I'm going with the Bills winning 35-32.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think this is a good matchup for the Ravens. I'm with Kennedy. I think this could the Bills could pull out fast. I mean, the Ravens really built their team to stop the run after they lost to Tennessee last year. And Marlon Humphrey struggled against A.J. Brown. He got bodied the first few drives. He was getting bodied. I know there was a PI in the end zone, but I think Diggs is going to eat up. Josh Allen could eat up the secondary, especially with Marcus Peters. We know he likes to gamble. So does Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, he's been pretty pinpoint accurate this year, which none of us saw coming. But I like the Bills here by, I don't know, probably 10 points.
Isn't it kind of crazy, the Stephon Diggs thing, where he kind of got traded from Minnesota almost as a punishment? Like, okay, you don't want to play for us, go play in Buffalo. No one really wants to play in Buffalo. And now he's doing great in the playoffs, and the Vikings are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, last year, the Bills, it seemed like they were one piece away, and they addressed it. They didn't have a wide receiver one. They had John Brown. He's like 5'9". Cole Beasley, he's like 5'9" too. So they finally got that wide receiver one. I don't see how the Ravens stop this one.
There we go. And I mean, who'd want to play football in Minnesota anyway? I don't know anyone in Minnesota who would sacrifice a plastic table in your name and down chicken wings for you.
I don't know,
Like,
Dom.
that's
They have
love.
They got a pretty cool stadium up there.
Yeah, I'd rather play indoors.
I'd rather play in Minnesota than in Buffalo just because of the weather.
I'm lazy, so I'd just rather not play. I'd rather break a plastic table and eat chicken wings. But we're ignoring that for now because we're moving on to our next pick of the evening. We've got Packers-Rams.
I mean, it's weird that Aaron Rodgers has been having the most quiet MVP season ever invented by the history of reality. I mean, he's over 40 touchdowns. He has like 4 interceptions, 6 interceptions. I don't have his stats in front of me right now, but he has like barely any interceptions. He's going to win the MVP. The Rams shouldn't even be in this game. It should be Seattle because they're a joke of a team with a joke of a quarterback. They have one good defensive player, and that's Aaron Donald. He should leave LA and go for a real team. But it's going to be the pack attack all the way because you know why? They can't defend against the pass. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw 500,000 times and make 1 million completions. Game over. Packers. It's going to be done it's going to be one of those games that's going to be done by the half.
Kennedy, I'm usually all for the Rams slander, but I definitely don't agree that they don't have a good defense with them actually having the number 1 overall defense. I think this game is going to be a lot more interesting than it seems. But with that said, I think Green Bay will win. But with Aaron, I think Jared Goff and that Rams offense won't be able to create enough firepower to beat Aaron Rodgers. So I'm gonna go low scoring because I think both defenses are going to play really well. I'm going 20-14 Packers.
Kennedy,
I'm willing to bet a humiliation type of thing for the show for content. I will bet something. We can come up with something by the end of the day that it's like at least a 10-point victory for Packers.
I'll take 10 points.
We can move it. We can move.
I'll take 10.
Okay, at least a 10-point victory for the Packers, or I'll do something embarrassing for the next show. We'll figure out what.
All right, Kennedy, you're lucky. You're lucky Jared Goff has a broken thumb. I want to pick the Rams so bad, but we saw this. We saw Jared Goff play. I'm guessing he'll start again, even though Woodford. I feel like Woodford's going to be good to go, but since Goff played, I feel like they're going to play Goff, and he just couldn't throw a spiral down the field. He couldn't move the ball. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, he's playing with 3 screws in his thumb, and he just couldn't put a spiral on the ball. And like Max said, this Packers defense has really stepped up. Jair Alexander, he's gonna shut down Woods, and if Kupp doesn't play, it's over for the Rams. Especially if Alexander shuts down Woods. But Jalen Ramsey, I mean, he's going to be matched up with Devontae Adams, so that's going to be a fun matchup. We're going to need to see the wide receivers for the Packers really step up. Lazard, I can't think they have a good tight end, Tanyan. So we'll see who steps up for the Packers, but it's not going to be an easy win. John Johnson should have been an All-Pro safety. Troy Hill, he has he just had an amazing pick six against Seattle, and the Rams will keep it close.
MVP close? No.
Yeah, I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers is going to do a discount double check on the Rams. He's probably going to win. But keep in mind, the Rams did beat Seattle with no Aaron Donald at all in the second half. He had that rib or midsection injury that kept him out of the game, and it was a defensive win for them in general. Goff not looking good, can't throw the ball for his life right now, and Wolford was sent to the hospital. So I really don't think that they're gonna win. But Kennedy, you got to be kidding me. The number one defense in the league, and you think that they're gonna lose by more than 10 points? You got to be kidding me. I like the Packers.
This is okay.
I like the Packers 24-18. I'll split the difference at a 6-point win.
This is why they're going to lose 10 plus points, because I was listening to a podcast that had Aaron Rodgers on, and he says that over the off season, he's mastered the art of meditation. He knows how to clear his mind. So not only are we seeing the most physically active and in shape Aaron Rodgers in our life, this man has his third eye now. So he's going to be throwing. No, it's done. He's just going to beat the Rams.
He won't have time to close his eyes and meditate when Aaron Donald's up in his face.
He can slow down time, Danny.
Kennedy, I definitely think that they could win by 10 plus points. But the one thing I'll say is, other than 2010, we'll probably most likely see the same Green Bay we have for the past 10 years, which is they'll either win this week and lose in the championship game, or just lose this week. They're not. It's usually just what's going to happen with Green Bay.
So I'm curious, why is Wolford in the hospital?
Oh, because he got
football's
knocked
a violent
hard.
game, Dom.
He got knocked hard. He did return to the
it was
stadium.
a cheap shot.
He's got a concussion or something?
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe.
Probably.
He got
It's
knocked
his
hard,
neck.
though.
All right,
He hurt
well,
his neck.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
rough. All right. Well, then my question is, because I know the other week you guys were talking about if Goff could even play and, would he be able to perform with the screws in his thumb? If they don't have that backup quarterback and Goff can't play, does it matter how good their defense is if they can't put points on the board?
Sure, because the defense has been putting points up on the board for them. Look,
Yeah,
if
we
Goff,
saw it last week.
all he needs to do is get a couple dink and drop passes in to these receivers on these short routes and let Akers run the ball and just not turn it over. The big thing that the Rams had last game is Goff did not turn the ball over. And when he doesn't turn the ball over, the team can be really, really good. Now it's another week he has to heal from that thumb surgery. He is going into Lambeau Field, though, and it's going to be 20 degrees. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a tough game for him, but it's just tough. It's tough.
Fair play. All right. Now, last game I want to get your picks for: Saints versus Bucks.
So this is the toughest one for me because I love to root against Tom Brady. Tim Brody, as I like to call him, because he doesn't even deserve me to say his full name. When I filled out the score for this game, it's 28-24. I'm not really sure who's going to win, but I think it's going to be such a close game. It's a New Orleans home game. I'm going to have to go with the Saints. They're my pick to go all the way this year, so I'm going to take the Saints 28-24.
Usually it's always a safe bet to pick the Saints at a playoff game at home, but obviously this is a different kind of situation. I think Tampa Bay, or Champa Bay, as we like to call them on our show, is as hot as ever. Tom Brady is looking fantastic. I saw Antonio Brown make a touchdown catch. The whole team just looks scary. The defense is, holding it together. I think this is the end of Drew Brees. I think this is the last game we see Drew Brees play as a Saint or as a football player altogether. It's going to be Tampa Bay.
Third time's the charm for Tampa Bay. First time they took the L week 1 against the Saints. Second time around, they took another L. But first game, that was Brady's first game back. Still getting the hang of things. The second time around, they ran the ball for 5 times. 5 times for 8 yards. Hopefully they get Ronald Jones back. Fournette, he filled in nicely for him. He ran for 93 yards and was 4 for 40 through the air. So hopefully Rojo's back. But also the second game, that was Antonio Brown's first game also. And like Kennedy said, he had a great game against Washington, a top 10 defense. I like the Bucks here. My Super Bowl pick. I'm guessing the fastest linebacker duo in the league, Devin White. He'll be back from COVID, and Levante David, obviously. But this Saints team, it was 7-3 against the Bears at halftime. I was falling asleep in that first half. They didn't look great at all. I saw them pull up a stat. This was their first cover at home since 2012. So this Saints defense, we know the past 2 years they've been immune to heartbreak at home, and it's gonna be round 3. Saints Bucks. I'm going with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, that is.
So they had the Bears-Saints game on Nickelodeon in an attempt to get younger viewers to want to get interested in football. Why in the hell did you pick Saints-Bears to get young people interested in football? I would never watch. No one wants to watch the Bears.
I will say that was a terrible pick of a game, but the memes that came from this game were
the
amazing. I think there was one that said, "I'd like to shout out the MVP cameraman," and it was a picture of that guy from iCarly with the camera.
Freddie.
I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. I think that the main, I saw a tweet somewhere the main audience was 70% sports writers, 20% stoners, and 10% pissed off kids who wanted to watch cartoons.
Yeah. So for me, I think this is just a game of the battle of the old QBs. So it's going to be really interesting. Saints and Buccaneers played their offenses did pretty well against solid defenses. I'm with Mitchell. This is just such a toss-up. It could go either way. I have it 27-24 Saints, but I really could see Tampa Bay just it could go either way. It's definitely a hard game to choose.
All right, fair
Your
play.
Super Bowl team, Max, out of the NFC.
I said Packers last week, but I really don't know anymore.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, the only reason I thought I was curious is
Just
because
wondering.
maybe they decided to put an easy game on so they could try and, star power or something, because Drew Brees is, a well-known name. Capitalize
but
off
not
that.
against the Bears.
Yeah.
Dom, you
All right.
don't.
So now we're going to go into a bit of a lightning round for some NBA chat. I want to know your takeaways about the NBA so far.
My take, there's a lot going on in the NBA. I can't wait for the NFL to slow down so we can talk more NBA. But my biggest takeaway is 76ers top seed in the East. I mentioned Ben Simmons as a dark horse MVP candidate. You guys laughed at me. I was just wrong at the wrong 76er. Joel Embiid, he's the dark horse MVP candidate. Just got him mixed up. But second best defensive rating. They're playing well with Doc Rivers, and this Seth Curry edition was huge for them, averaging 15 points per game. We'll see if they can overcome COVID and keep this top seed.
Yeah, for me, the story so far this year is the other side of the country, the West. At the start of the day before the Lakers played today, Phoenix was tops in the West with a 7-3 record. And the storyline here is CP3, and all he does is win. When he comes to a new team, he instantly adds value to them. When he was drafted by the Hornets in 2005, in his rookie year, he took the team to 20 more wins than they had the year before, which is insane. He did the same thing in Houston, upping their win total by 10 plus games. And so far, Phoenix is off to a really hot start. They finished 34-39 last year, but the CP3 addition to help facilitate the ball to Booker and Ayton, I think is going to be great. And I think Phoenix is a legit contender in the West.
Mitchell, this 5 right here has won as many NBA championships as Chris Paul, so I don't think all he does is win. But anyway, let's look at rookies. Rookies are probably the best part of this NBA season, but LaMelo Ball is absolutely the cream of the crop right now. If you were told that when you're drafting LaMelo Ball that right now he'd be in the top 20 of assists, you you'd probably be pretty happy that you pretty found your point guard. He makes crazy assists. Every time I'm on Twitter, I'm seeing highlights of him like behind the back, off the backboard. It's just crazy. LaMelo's going to be one of these stars. I think in like 3 or 4 years, we might be seeing him in an all-star. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be talking about the general NBA. I think the NBA is actually going to regret starting this early and just really rushing the offseason and having such a short preseason. 25% of the games have resulted in 20-point blowouts already. That's twice the opening 2-week average for each season for the last decade. And with the short preseason and rushed offseason, teams like the Rockets and the Wizards with a lot of new players haven't really gotten to find their groove with each other. So they're just not really clicking on offense or defense. And I expect actually ratings to go down because of this. So we'll have to see with the NBA. But yeah, there's just too many blowout games that's making it really not interesting.
Mitchell, how do you feel about your pick of the Timberwolves going to the playoffs now?
I think the season is early. I think anything can happen.
I forgot about that.
3-7. They're at the bottom of the West.
Okay,
No
but
way.
it's only 10 games, and
That's true.
anything-
You should never judge until like 20, 25 games into the NBA, but still,
exactly
bottom
things
of the
can
table.
happen. Things can happen.
Let me know that Mitchell's predicting a 20 game winning streak from the Timberwolves right now.
Yeah, but Kennedy's also predicting that the Rams are going to get blown out by more than 10. So
More than 10, that's no, that it's gonna
More
happen.
than 10's
You guys-
reasonable,
What
at
wait, what do I get if I win though? Don,
We'll
what's
just do the opposite punishment.
Okay. Shave your
I'm not
head.
taking any of this.
There we go, Max.
Kennedy, that's a war crime. We do not endorse that. Have you seen Danny's hair?
Danny looks like
Yeah,
who's the
I'm
pitcher?
working
Max,
on it, thanks.
Mitchell and I were talking about. Danny looks like the pitcher from the Sandlot.
Benny.
From Benny,
You're
yeah.
totally right. Yeah.
Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
And with that, we are done for this week. Be sure to check out more of our reporting on moreparkreporter.com. Finally, tell us your name, where they can find you on social media. Go.
At D Stepanovich, Twitter, Instagram. Hit me up for NFL picks.
@_ Max Clark at Instagram and Twitter.
At Mitch Ross Report, wondering why I signed up for COM MO5. Apparently, it's an acting class.
Kennedy at Kennedy C. Collier, and I want to see Mitch do Hamlet.
I'd pay. All right. And we will talk to you next week. Later.